Hello and welcome to another Franchise Hockey Manager 7 stream. My name is Adam. I'm the community manager of Franchise Hockey. With me, as always, and somewhat pictured on your screen, is FHM producer Jeff. Say hi, Jeff.
Hey, everybody.
And we are back with a brand new stream. We've gone back to 1948. And Jeff has transformed into the general manager and head coach of the absolutely terrible, horrendous, awful New York Rangers. Jeff, why did you take us back to this time?
Well, we were asking last week for ideas for the new historical stream, or at least the ones we start off with. And somebody suggested taking a really bad team like the mid 70s Capitals, but we just did I think we ended the Canucks game in what, 74 or 75? So that's right around pretty much the exact time period. So I don't know how much fun that would be to get into, just doing the same thing again. Somebody suggested the Rangers games, and I don't think we've done that before, but figured why not combine them? So we got a really bad team, and it's the Rangers. So just to set this up, you can see I've got the history screen open. You can see what the record has been the last few seasons. The Cup in 1940, and couple of good seasons after that, 2 winning seasons, and then everybody goes off to the war, and it just sort of falls apart. And improves a little bit when they start getting their players back, but not a whole lot. So this season, 48-49, Frank Boucher, you can see the Rangers' all-time scoring leader, and was also their coach at this point, wound up getting fired after I think he had been coaching for 7 or 8 years. And they finally had enough of him then. He was out, and Lester Patrick, who was general manager, took over for the rest of the season. But the thing that really made me want to play this was when I opened it up and was looking around for a team and opened up the roster. There's a lot of interesting guys in this lineup. The first one jumps out at me is, you can see, I'll tell you where the relative strengths are to begin with. Charlie Rayner in goal, who'd been missed 3 or 4 years during the war. Came back, had a couple of decent seasons for the Rangers, got hurt the previous season, missed most of it. And I think it was Jim Henry who came in and was starting for the Rangers for most of the year. But he's back. He's clearly our best player. He's hopefully healthy now. Edgar Laprade and Buddy O'Connor, 2 very similar centers, not physical at all. Both tend to be sort of playmakers. So essentially the same guy. And one of them has to go on the first line. One of them have to sit in the second. Considering there are 2 best players, that may not be that efficient.
Well, it's good to have a little bit of spread scoring.
Yeah, and then a handful of other guys: Alex Kalita, Tony Leswick, Don Raleigh. And the D is a lot shakier. Wally Stanowski, who was just picked up from the Leafs in the offseason. So good defenseman there, but behind that it gets really thin. Frank Eddles, Bill Moe, and the other one is, where is he? Farther down here. Was one other good defenseman. It was Moe and Bob Dill. He's only half a star here. All right, I guess this must be after he went downhill.
You want to know what one of the most impressive parts is, though, as you continue to go through this?
What's that?
Is that the Rangers logo has not really changed since 1948.
Yeah, it's a little different, slightly different. Not quite as clean as it is now, but yeah, basically the same thing. I think they might change. I think this changes within a couple of seasons or so. I think we get to something that looks a lot more like the modern one fairly quickly. Oh, Alan Stanley, there's the other guy I was going to think of. Rookie in this game, but 4-star potential, future Hall of Famer. So we'll want to hang on to him, presumably. And Bob Dill, I was mentioning. Dill, and I think Mo was as well, were spent the World War II on playing for the U.S. Coast Guard team, which was, I think, playing in the Eastern League. Was it the Eastern League or the American League? And kind of dominated that league because they had all the guys that were in the service. So they were kind of stacked. Fred Shiro, future Rangers, or future Rangers.
Yeah, future Rangers.
And eventually Rangers coach. 22 years old in this one. And not particularly tough, surprisingly. 2 penalty minutes in 19 games last year.
Excellent.
And a few other guys. Neil Colville's the captain, but he is past his prime, and I don't think we're going to be keeping him around much longer. Another interesting thing here. I don't know if we're going to be able to use him or not, but Herb Carnegie and Ozzie Carnegie, his brother, uh, they were two of the only black guys in the minor leagues at that point. I think they were playing for the Rangers Eastern League team at this point, which is why they're signed to the Rangers in this game. They didn't actually sign with them in real life, but may be able to find a spot for them and beat Willie O'Ree to the punch by about 7 or 8 years. Pentti Lund, Finnish-born Canadian guy, was Rookie of the Year this season in real life. Don't know if we'll be able to get him to do it this year, but he's probably going to get a ton of playing time with us. But, I mean, when you look at the talent level, it drops off in a hurry. You got 4 stars, 3.5, 3.5, 3 for a little bit, 2.5, and then the replacement level guys, you start getting into the 2s and 1.5s, and just a whole bunch of guys we're not going to bother keeping around at all, down to half a star.
Well, there is one guy we could immediately jump on free agency and grab to help boost up our.
You're going to say Toe Blake, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, but in your game, the one you just loaded up, he was a little overrated. I think I had him doing too well at the end of his career, so I fixed him a little in this one. So he's not quite as good. Oh, and the other guy I wanted to mention, Emil Francis, the guy who eventually, after the Rangers were terrible for decades and decades, was kind of the guy that brought them out of that as the GM and head coach in the mid-late 60s. But here he's just a 21-year-old goalie, and that's way in his future. So we'll try to give him a winning team to play with, before his middle 40s.
I will say Jeff, when I signed him, he got to 2 stars.
Which is what he is in here.
No.
He was at this point. He'd actually left Montreal. I think he was playing in, can't remember for who, in the AHL, and then he went and played a couple of years for.
Well, good news. You could probably check that.
Yep. Well, actually, no, I can't. In the
you can't.
I can look at the real stats, but we don't have the minor league stats in this one. So you can
You're
see
right.
They end in 47-48.
All right, I'm going to quickly Google it.
But the guy I think I will bring back is Brian Hextall, who had left the Rangers in real life at this point. But we'll try to squeeze another year out of him, see what he wants.
Toe Blake played 18 games for the Buffalo Bisons.
There we go.
And then ended up playing in 1949-50 with the Valleyfield Braves of the QSHL. And then played one playoff game as well the next year with them.
Almost made the offer to the wrong guy. And I think what I'll ground rule in this game, I'm going to filter out all the. I should leave the Americans, Canadians in, but all the foreign players. Be a little too easy to cheat that way, because some of those guys, I think I need to tone down the ratings a bit. There are a few Swiss guys that were rated 1.5, 2 stars.
CS High 312 in the chat says, "How excited are you for the real NHL to start?" Jeff, I know we're talking about 1948, but the NHL just announced today, and today is, if you're watching the YouTube video later, December 23rd, and the NHL just announced the schedule for everybody and all of the quirks, I think is the best word to use.
Yeah,
quirks
I haven't had a chance to take a good
schedule.
look at it yet. I got the spreadsheet version. I got to break that down for the game later tonight. But yeah, we'll see.
I'll tell you, I'm super excited to see the Jets play the Leafs 10 times and get to hear about the Leafs 10 times this year.
Well, it'll be good revenue for the Canucks if they actually had people in the seats. All the Montreal games are going to get.
Well, I know one of my friends is going to be very disappointed that they're playing Ottawa 10 times and he's not going to be able to see them. But man, the time. Yeah, Adam just playing Calgary. These triple headers or quadruple headers or what was the best one? LA plays Anaheim 5 times in a row.
Wow. In a row?
Yes. Yeah, at the end of April, I think
okay, I guess that's,
into May.
Makes some
it was 5 times
for, preventing the spread of disease, but geez, still.
Well, Winnipeg pays Calgary 3 times in 4 days, and then plays Toronto 3 times in 5 days. And plays somebody else 3 times in 5 days too, I think it was. It's just like, oh man, there's going to be some, by the end of this, these guys are absolutely going to hate each other.
And one thing I just
CSI
noticed during the game, I should point this out, when you're starting a historical game, just realized this year I've got some guys who are Rangers property but aren't signed yet, so I should take that care of that immediately. The big one, obviously, Gump Worsley, 4.5-star potential in goal.
Ooh, absolutely. CSI says kind of like baseball. Well, actually, this is pretty much kind of how the old NHL was. And especially the WHA, I guess, too, was you'd go in and you'd play a team multiple times on a weekend. Cut down on travel.
Yeah, a few of the minor leagues still do it that way.
Yeah, some of them. Yeah, AHL does. For sure.
Pacific Conference or the Western one, whichever it is. By the way, that's if anybody's noticing, we got added this to FHM7 this year, the button, so you don't have to be constantly going up here to click down and hunt for that. Saves you a little time. Although I'm just giving these guys default deals.
Which adds a little bit of depth to us.
Yeah, so it does. And Frank Bathgate, Andy Bathgate's 19-year-old brother, but I think Andy would be, I gotta check that. Is he in the system yet? No, he is not. Okay, so he's going to be showing up in the draft. So we get the lesser Bathgate. Oops, and then I'm at the contract maximum, so we're going to have to cut a few guys here. And well, actually do it by age.
All right.
Supply out about 5 guys here.
CS High says, so what inspired 1948? And if I missed the explanation that was given. So if you get a quick overview for anyone else just joining the game.
Somebody suggested last week we do a team that really needed rebuilding, or like the mid-70s Caps, but we had already just done a mid-70s game, and somebody else suggested the Rangers, so I just kind of combined the two, and this is
Jeff
where we
looked for the worst team possible.
There's a point in the 60s where they were even worse than this, but I'm noticing how many guys on here are future coaches or GMs. Jack Gordon, Fred Shiro, Emil Francis.
So now we find the real reason you wanted to be the Rangers, huh?
What's that?
After the Vancouver game of taking all the coaches and GMs, you went, oh, let's take the Rangers game. Look at all the coaches and GMs. It all makes sense.
So I could probably just continue. Did I want to make
Stanley Cup chaser cutting through it all, but never as bad as the Jets. Ouch.
And sorry, I've still got the debug mode on, so you're going to see these numbered announcements in my email. That doesn't show up in the regular game.
Yes, Jeff. Just what was it? I forget now. Was it 2 days ago? Yes, 2 days ago we released update 105.
Yep, up to 105 already. So if anybody hasn't picked that up, you can do that. That's the first really. We did the hot fix earlier, but
the first update for FHM7. Yes,
content update. Well, not
yes, and
so much
for that matter, Franchise Hockey Manager 7 is participating in the Steam Winter Sale, continuing with a 10% launch discount through January 5th, 2021, which seems crazy to say right now, but yes. So if you haven't picked up Franchise Hockey Manager 7 yet, now is the time to jump right on in.
And one of the guys in the Canadians is supplementing his income by taking an off-season job as a gravedigger. I think I actually put an effect in there that increases his strength.
Strength? Well, it should. That's a tough job.
Okay, mostly through that. I think we had one guy I wanted to sign still.
B1 Ween in the chat asks, are there major differences between FHM 6 and FHM 7? What a great question when you come to our official stream.
Yeah, we'll show the big one as soon as we get to an exhibition game.
Yeah, so immediately CS High threw in two in the chat says scouting. We went over scouting last week in our new San Jose Sharks game in the current, which
Speaking
scouting
of, I
was
should set it up. This is one of the new things. Don't really care about the state so much, but Canada scouting is bad.
You might have also noticed Jeff, as he was flipping through there, showed off a little bit more of the new signing screen, which has some quick hit buttons.
And Frank Boucher, who we've just fired. I sort of pushed him out as the head coach, is going to be scouting for us. And Lester Patrick, whose GM job I took, is out there as well. So just going to get what I'm doing here is hiring scouts to turn this. I want to get this towards blue 20 out of 20, and actually I should.
But the biggest change, which Jeff alluded to, is the brand new in-game engine.
Yep, and we'll show you that once we get into a game. And still need a few more scouts, mostly to cover the prairies. Let's see who we got in Manitoba. Oh, Red Dutton, Hall of Famer.
Perfect.
And looks like we could use one more in the west somewhere. Recently retired Blackhawk Johnny Gotzelik. Does that get us almost everywhere except Alberta? Oh, and you can see here, this sometimes happens. Neil Colville is available as a scout, even though he's still active in our game. Is the scouts, the staff, and the players are separate entities in the game right now. Oh, whoops! I wanted to get that in blue. I'm thinking of the wrong thing here. Got to hire more. This is turning into one of your streams, Adam, where you hire accumulated scouts.
And yet it works, Jeff.
Yeah, but look how much easier it is now, and how much less boring it is to watch.
I think everyone has always been entertained, let's be honest.
Okay. Maritimes I'm not going to worry too much. Atlantic provinces I'm not going to worry too much about. As there aren't going to be a lot of good prospects coming through there at this point in history. Oh, come on. Still can't get it all the way blue. One more guy from Saskatchewan. 28-year-old Wild Bill Hunter. There we go. So, okay, I've got my scouting maxed up and all of these, and it's easy for me to do in playing as the NHL because I've got the budget to do it. What's the States looking like? Maybe hire one more American guy. We got a few.
King Clancy. CS High 312 also asks, how excited are we for the World Juniors? Hockey on Christmas Day. Will Canada win it?
Well, didn't get good news today from that. Lose the captain in the first game of the tournament.
If he's gone, and this was preseason, or not pre-tournament, sorry, not preseason.
Okay, I'm just going to thin the roster down a little bit because we've got, good God, 55 players. Yeah, that's more than we need.
You don't need 55 guys? Thought we were...
Not hardly.
No?
Actually, it's better to do this from here so I can see what kind of depth I'm keeping. And don't overdo it in one position. Glenn Sanmore, another future NHL coach with the Stars. I think the Oilers in the WHA as well.
Excellent. I'm a little bit hurt. You don't have your favorite mod pack downloaded.
Oh yeah, no, I haven't add any mods yet. Still in development mode, so got to keep everything stocked to make sure it works all right. Okay.
I have started seeing stuff pop up on Steamworks.
Oh, that reminds me. Did you notice? Are the pictures working now?
On Steamworks?
Yeah, the preview pictures.
Not currently. Just looking at it at the exact moment.
Last year, I gotta figure out what that was. Because if you look at the ones from last year, the first dozen or so don't have preview pictures, and then suddenly they start working. And I can't remember what it was we did last time to get them to do that. We're going to have a lot of guys leaving after this season.
Well, that's not a bad thing.
Down to 28 players. That's enough for the preseason. And anything else I wanted to set here? What are you going to say?
I was going to say, did you also see the big news from Tampa Bay of Nikita Kucherov?
Yeah, that's missing the whole season. I've got to update the presets file for the game to get him into that, or get him
missing the whole season, but making them cap compliant.
Convenient, but I mean, if there's ever a time where it doesn't look shady that somebody's doing that, I think this would be it.
Probably, yes.
And just setting up the training right now. I can only do one goalie at a time, so Francis is probably not going to get any attention because he's the backup right now, but Worsley is going to eventually push him out of there. And I want to get Alan Stanley as much help across the board as I can give him because he's got that big gap between potential and current ratings. Lund could probably use some help. I just want to keep the bonus number above 20, or 10 rather, preferably somewhere in the teens. Yeah, we're kind of short on prospects here. Fortunately, we're probably going to have a really bad season, so...
Oh, is there anybody worthwhile to add in free agency? Younger, I mean, besides foreigners. If you don't want to cheat, as you said.
Which is what it is.
No. Not at all.
Just filtering it for Canadians because I don't think there's a lot of high potential Americans. I took one of there were three good. There's Al Rollins and Johnny Bauer, and we're also there as high potential free agent goalies. But I signed Worsley, so we don't really need to worry about that. Oh, Ivan Irwin, a future Ranger. I'm not sure why we don't have his rights. I'll have to check on that. But I actually saw him play once, Old Timers game in the late 70s or early 80s. And Wally Hergesheimer, another guy who was actually an actual Ranger. I think that will do it, though. Be one more, yeah, Bathgate and Irwin, and we should be done. And the other reason I wanted to do a historical game in the original 6 will be once we get everything set up, we'll be able to get through these a lot faster. Huh, that's weird. The training camp development report's working fine here. I wonder if it's just broken standard mode. Oh no, it's doing the same thing here. These are all minor league guys. It's not showing me the guys on my roster. That's right. Okay, captains. Do we want to leave Colville, who's probably going to retire soon, as captain, or have we got anybody better? Shiro has got the highest leadership on the team.
You know what? I set my captains to, and I'm just looking here quickly. I set my captain to Edgar
Laprade.
Yeah, and assistant to Buddy O'Connor and Don.
Raleigh.
Yeah, Raleigh.
I think what I'm actually, I'm gonna. Yeah, Laprade is a point higher in determination, so I'm gonna make him the captain. Give Stanley. He's still young, but give him an A already at 22. And the former captain Colville can get the other A. And Nick Ninkowski shows up to camp out of shape, so this is the 40s. We'll criticize him in public. And he knows we mean business now, I hope. So I'm just going to let the AI do the lines and
Perfect.
set up the starting tactics. That looks good, I think. Leave one on the first line, I think, and this is the 40s, so only, was it 9, 15 skaters, and really should only be one goalie. Need to add that to my notes for next year to figure out how to do one goalie systems.
Yeah, something else to work on.
Oh, he's going to redo the lines. Let me. And I'm just going to go with the AI's tactics to begin with, because we're probably going to be overhauling this team pretty thoroughly.
Makes sense to me.
Okay, there we go. And now I will finally show you the big new feature. There we go. Oh, ignore the Modern Rangers logo. Need to fix that. I think it's pulling the, I know why it's doing that. It's got the big logo and in that folder, and it defaults to that. I have to change that. Oops, sound. Sound is mute, good. And just to show you quickly, oh, there we go. Thought we'd lost the puck there. But we should mention a couple of things. We changed a few things in the update for the behavior in the 2D engine. But we still sort of got an issue I'm noticing with the players passing backwards, and we just gave up a breakaway there. Not a great start, guys. Passing backwards to somebody after they cross the blue line, which is also creating offsides that aren't getting called as offsides. So I know about that, and I think I've got an idea of how we want to work it out. We actually tried to change it while we were working on the update, but it wound up badly breaking the scoring totals. So I'll probably put the change back in sometime next week, and then resort through everything. And
Yes, I would point out, much like everybody else, it is the holidays for us as well, and so
wait, you get holidays?
apparently, even though we're streaming on December 23rd, it's nice to have a little bit of time to ourselves, right?
Yeah. I mean, we'll probably be back. I'll probably be working on the game anyhow sometime tomorrow, even if with all the other stuff I got to get done. But I like to have a look in anyhow. But yeah, that's. I mean, we'll be taking some time off over the next couple of days. So anything that's needs fixing will be waiting till after Christmas. And then a couple other things. Just watching this is reminding me. I want to the player icons. I know that doesn't look great right now because the puck covers up the number, so you can't tell who the puck carrier is until he gives it up, unless you do the. It'll actually tell you if you stop, but it'll highlight the guy who has a puck right now, O'Connor in this case, number 5. But what I'd like to do, and I think what the thing you were suggesting, Adam, was offset the number to the corner of the icon, like have it floating down to the left of it, bottom left corner. Was that the one where you had suggested
Yeah,
it?
I had mentioned something about that.
And other things we've had suggested are have the players' names floating in a similar manner. But what I really want to do is get to the point where we can have the identifier off the actual icon for the player, and then make the icons moddable so you can create whatever you want for the player. If you want to have a little top-down head and shoulders view of the guy, or if you want to have a team logos or whatever else you can think of, just be able to put your own modded logo in there, your own modded player icon in there, or like a little picture of them, a bunch of disembodied heads floating around on the ice. I think that was one of those backwards passes I'm trying to get rid of, but haven't been able to yet.
Speaking of which, you'll notice one of the changes in the update on the screen right now, Jeff. You can see and talk about the one minor change we made already.
Which was that?
Just changing the color slightly of the timer
Oh, right. Yeah,
and the period.
some people are getting confused with it. We didn't have first up here before either, so it looked like the score was Detroit 1-0 ratio or Rangers 1. So a few people were confused by that. So anything that's time related now is slightly. I probably should have used a lighter, darker, more distinctive color. It was a little more. That looks a little
Orange,
lighter in
Jeff.
thought.
Orange.
That's why I was looking at I took it off of the picture of an old score clock and zoomed it in, but I think I used the eyedropper thing on the wrong bucket or wrong pixel, and grabbed one of the lighter ones when I should have taken one of the darker ones.
I told you I got the perfect orange for it.
Send me the HTML code.
I'll do it right now. CS High 312 says, I have a suggestion and I will add it in the forum. I do not know how hard it would be to implement, but it is minor, possibly cosmetic suggestion. CS High, you can throw it in here if it's a short one already in the chat.
Yeah. But generally better to say it in the forum, because that way I can
yes.
get in a fight with somebody there. Just missed that. I want to make the fighting animations a little better to at least have the guys circle around each other or something. There's sort of an abbreviated one in now, but I've got it's already written up where the players will do a little more during the fight, and it'll be obvious there's a fight going on. Let's see what else. Oh, the other thing I wanted to show, if you stop the game, you've also got this quick option here, and I can hide the stats to do that. And the options screen has quick sim speed through very slow through very fast. That controls this button. So if I click this now, you can see it's jumping forward a minute at a time. It's still stopping it when it gets interrupted. We need a ref icon for unsportsmanlike conduct, apparently.
Oh, we don't have a T ref? Okay, good to know.
Don't have what?
Well, it's an unsportsmanlike is a ref giving the sign of a T.
I thought we did have one. See that one? Okay, there we go. and pointing at the goal, Brian Hextall, recent free agent signing, and brought back for one more season with the Rangers, unassisted. Oh, I got to balance the game ratings too. Those are a little off in 2D. Although I want to get the scoring settled down first.
CS High, I can seeing your suggestion. I know that's something we've seen on the forums, and I think Jeff has already talked about it being on the list of something he would like to get put in at some point.
What was it? The goal number after. Yeah, it's not quite as easy as it looks for some reason. Just the way the goal data is stored during games. But yeah, we want to get that added in so you can see how many goals the players had that season when it announces it. But yeah, you can see I just took it out of quick mode for the last 3 minutes. Originally, I think we had a few requests for a sim to the end of a period and sim to like 5 minutes left of the game. But this is quick is a little more flexible. It'll just jump you to precisely whatever point you want. You just have to be fast enough on the button to stop it at the right time, or it'll stop the end of periods too. So there's your sim to end. There's your sim to end a period or a sim to 5 minutes left. But there's still a few more things, playback wise. We'd like to. Oh shoot! I thought you saw that guy flash here a second ago. That Sebastian thought he had that fixed, but I think we might have lost that when we reverted the changes. I also want to get the benches crowded together properly. You can see they're extending way down past the far blue line now. It shouldn't really be that way. I think we'll probably overlap them by 1 minute left.
Oh, they just don't want anything to do with each other.
Surprised it hasn't pulled the goalie, although they got possession. And you can see at this point right now, they're just killing time. Whenever the Wings get it, that's deliberate. The team, when the clock is counting down like this, and they've got a 1-goal lead, they will stall. They will wait with the puck. They will sometimes dump it in. They'll very rarely try to do anything offensive when they're in this situation. And we take a high sticking penalty right at the end of the game. Very sportsmanlike, guys. Nice going. And 2-1 loss to the Wings. And apparently the Wings have some guy, I think he's in his 3rd season in the league, named, what is it again? Gordie Howe. We'll see how he works out.
Not sure. Might be okay.
How are we doing on time? 20 minutes. Okay, I think I'm just going to sim through the rest of the exhibition season. And you can see the scouting report. It's fairly sparse in historical mode right now. This is what replaced the old one. That would give you just basically a list of players and had no real useful function to it. What this does is tell you who the best free agents are right now. And if you're in standard mode, it'll do a lot of other things, particularly if your league has a draft. It'll give you the guys who look good for the upcoming draft. There's 2 or 3 different things. It's a lot longer in standard, and I think it's a little longer in custom mode too. He's telling us to hire Billy Taylor, who I think at this point was actually suspended for life by the league for gambling. So I don't think we'll be doing that. Bobby Bauer, Bruins, great, but also 34. Not a whole lot of young guys. Just these. You can see the couple of young guys that I was the Finnish. One Finn, one Swedish guy, couple of Swiss. I got another Finn down there. Tone those guys down a little bit because I think that's a little too good to have them at this point. And now that I think about it, when's the next Olympics? Is that this year? 1952, so we're a ways away.
Well, isn't it 48 right now?
Yeah, it's start of 48, so it would have been the...
okay, yeah, February, yeah. Whatever.
And am I remembering right, was that the first one the Russians played in? Soviets played in?
Post-World War II, so I...
Can't remember if it was
that seems early.
The 52 one.
I'm not sure off the top of my head.
I'm going to trim the roster down a little bit more.
Quick Googling says Participating nations does not include the Soviets.
And I bet you,
Austria.
if you go to 52, it will. Or were they later in the 50s? No, I think they were 52.
Well, give me a second, and I will continue.
And I will just sim through these games.
They were not in 52 either.
50 times later than that. Maybe it was the World Championships in the mid-50s. Oh, yeah, that's right, because now that I think about it, there aren't really any Russian players in the database from the late 40s, early 50s, other than a couple
56, the Soviets were there.
There we go.
They got the gold, in fact, in 56.
Hawks had nice uniforms this year. The barber pole, but with the logo in the center and the home, or the home whites are nice too. And the Leafs, who are probably the best team in the league at this point, just looking at their 5-on-5 lineup. Actually, this isn't quite as good as I thought. It's got Max Bentley on the third line. Wow, that's how much depth they've got. One of the better players in the league. And Howie Meeker, who just passed away in one of his first seasons, I think, in this game. And we lose 7-1. Going to be a long season, I think.
Probably.
Give Francis his first start in exhibition season. 6-2 loss to the Wings. And our captain, Edgar Laprade, got injured, and so did Bill Moe. He's got out for 2 weeks, so injured list for him, and I'll be piling up the injuries. Rally's day-to-day, another day-to-day there on Fisher. And just a sore groin for Laprade, thankfully. And, another new thing that you can see on this for FHM 7, we've redone the news screen and private messages screen, so you can get a lot more headlines in there than you used to. And you can see it's a little easier to see if you need to respond to something. You'll get that blue marker, and it'll tell you the difference between which ones are direct, which are messages directed directly to you, and what are just general news from around the league or wherever else you have subscribed.
Cool. A couple other things I forgot to mention before we're talking. You see, Ryan Miller has signed to return to the Ducks.
Oh, he did.
Yes,
signed
a 1 year,
thing on Reddit
$1 million deal.
The other day. Somebody named Ryan Miller took a coaching position somewhere.
No, it was assistant GM with the Blues.
There we go. Yeah.
Yes,
assistant GM with the Blues, and then the headline had to say, "Not that Ryan Miller."
Yes. What I was going to say here was just catching up on some things as we continue to move on. Was apparently sources say that the 5 provinces have requested additional testing procedures or asked the NHL to consider a bubble model if bubble isn't an option for the NHL. Sources say a delay to the start of the season has also been suggested. The NHL is working on a response, ongoing discussions.
Oh, fantastic. Wouldn't surprise me if we wind up with the Canadian teams playing in the States. Finally, a win over the Bruins, who are almost as bad as us.
Well, my take is maybe the January 13th beginning might not quite happen.
Well, I mean, regardless, we're going to plan for releasing the updated FHM with the 21-22 real start around that time. I'm hoping we can get it out for at least, if not before that, or on the day of, within a couple of days after. I think that's a Wednesday, isn't it?
Why do you think I know what January looks like? No, it's a Tuesday, I think.
Because you've got a computer and you could click a button and click another button.
No, it is a Wednesday. I take it back.
It is a Wednesday?
Yes. Jeff, I'm trying to do like 5 things, trying to catch up and feed you correct information as we move on. And you try and turn this Rangers team into something good.
Okay, last exhibition game of the season. See if we can get another one against the Bruins. And Frank Brimzek's still sticking around. He must be old by this point, and it's a 2-1 win. So we beat the Rangers twice to end the preseason. So that's slightly promising, I guess.
Sure.
A bunch of guys getting waived doesn't really matter to us. Ooh, I got to fix the colors on the Rangers farm team. They got the default red and green. Although I guess it's Christmassy.
Sure, for now. Yep. Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas.
Mikoski, for showing up out of shape, gets sent to the farm to begin the season. Okay, I think this is going to be our lineup going into the season. Rayner and Francis in goal. We'll give Worsley a little time on the farm to develop. Don't really want to change the defenseman any. Yeah, looks good. So I'm going to send the first game, and I'll see the. Yeah, I got to turn those down. Finnish guy just signed with the Bruins.
CSI says, I'm surprised any Canadian teams accept to play in the States.
Some money is better than none.
Yeah. I mean, some of these guys have homes in different spots too, you know. Nobody's gonna like living out of a hotel for 6 months though, or 4 months, 5 months.
Yeah, we got the Canadians in the home opener. Or is it the road opener? It's an opener regardless.
Season opener is
Season
the word
opener.
we like to use.
And Maurice Richard, only 1 assist, but they beat us 4-1.
Well, that's not great, but it's not terrible either.
Yeah, and we go right from playing against Maurice Richard to playing against Gordie Howe. Let's see how this goes. 6-1 loss this time. And yeah, there we go. Top 3 stars, the production line. 3 points for Abel, 2 for Lindsay, 2 for Howe. Oh, wait. Howe had a goal and assist. Did he get the Gordie Howe hat trick? Penalty minutes, none. Didn't get the fight. Almost at it.
So close.
And Edgar Laprat, our captain, is finally healthy again, so we got to dress. Oh, Hextall wasn't playing. I got to switch that. Yeah, it's tight-fitting guys into the lineup with only 9 forwards. CAI wants to do it that way. I think Hextall makes more sense on the second line. Give that a go. And we got this suspension announcement here, Adam. Any comment on that?
Nope, nothing at all.
Somebody pointed out in the forums the grammar here is terrible, and I actually had this afternoon and changed it because whoever did it the first time around, let's just for the sake of argument, call him Adam because that's his name. Worded kind of weirdly.
Shouldn't be trusted with anything, that guy.
And we at least get a point.
Although,
2-2 tie.
I think we could actually point out somebody else on that, but I'm not going to throw somebody under the bus.
Why start now? Or why stop now?
Well, all of them were based off the original one, which Adam didn't write.
Oh, that was mine, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Oops. Well, it's fixed now, or at least will be as of the next update. You can point out here, because a couple of people have mentioned it, you see the scouting ratings here. Everybody in my team is scouted to an A level right now. And actually, wait, that's a little odd. It's showing everybody as AA. The second number should be indicating how likely the player is to reach his potential. If I got a really old team, no, not quite. Is it doing that in the farm team? Yes, it is. Oh no, there we go. We got ACs, ADs. I think it might be setting everybody to AA right at the start, which is a little off. I got to take a look at how it's doing that. But that's one of the new things for scouting this year. You can see it better in the player profile. And if I can get the tooltip to pop up. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that shows up. Yeah, it does. Tells you how likely the player is to reach that potential that's displayed above. So it gives you a little more indication as to what guys are risky and when you might be finding a steal with the guy who's really likely to hit his potential, but everyone else doesn't really rate him that highly. And we got a few minutes left here.
Yep.
Try to make it through at least one of the original 6. And there we go. First win of the season. 5-3 over Gordie Howe in the Wings. And
About
Lemond, who's
time.
just in for the injured Tony Leswick, gets the first star. That's right. Mo is going to, yeah, you can go back on the roster. No, he can't because we got too many guys up there and we were playing Evans. That's right. So Evans swaps with Mo. I want to keep at least one more defenseman dressed, which means unless, how long was Leswick hurt? 1-2 weeks, he can go on the injury list. Scouting update again, and teams are, I think, working through this now. It's mostly old guys and a few of the Europeans. It'll be a little more interesting once we get farther in and get some prospects generated. What do you think of that Bruins logo?
I think it looks like it was drawn by somebody who was in grade 6.
That was the 40s. They had different standards for art. But it's got that
Actually,
Bruins 25th anniversary logo on it, which is this season.
I like that. Actually, it really looks like a cartoonist did it.
Yeah, it does.
I don't mean that in a bad way. I just,
yeah, no, like in a. Okay, there we go. Development for, yeah, this is. Oh no, we are seeing some NHL guys developing. Not sure what's going on with. Whoa, why all the minuses?
old guys getting old.
Yeah. Well, at least some of the guys we signed are doing okay. And player of the month, Sid Abel, who had 3 points against us, 9 points in his first 7 games. And Turk Baroda, the Toronto goalie, off to a hot start. And we're sort of in the middle of the pack, but it's close. Montreal running away with it. I didn't even look who won the cup this year. Was that Montreal
In
or the Leafs?
48-49?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I used to know all these. Detroit won.
Yeah, I guess that was Howe's first cup.
Detroit. Wait a second. What? Wait. Okay, apparently this is not telling me the right thing. Toronto won in 49.
Yeah, that sounds right. Were you looking?
Detroit finished first in the regular season. Toronto actually finished under 500, but won the Stanley Cup.
And we got hammered pretty good against the Leafs, but only lost 2-1, 47-22 on shots though. So Rayner held us in that one. And the reason I'm just going with the same goalie every game because this is the single goalie era, so it doesn't really make sense to put the backup in. And we don't really have, there's not really much of a future for that backup, even, well, aside from running the team, but I'm doing that. And we got another injury. Wally Stanowski this time, best defenseman. Minor facial cut. They would have played through that in the 40s.
I mean, that pretty much happened every game.
A lot of narrow one-goal losses. And we lose our starting center, Buddy O'Connor. How long? Not too bad, I hope. Bruised neck, 1 to 2 weeks. So he's out. Albright's in. Have to juggle the line around. LeBrad, the captain, goes to the number 1 spot. And I think once O'Connor is back, we may have to figure out something. Probably going to think about shopping him for some younger players because we're not going to contend with what we got now. We're not even going to make the playoffs at this rate because we're now down to 5th out of 6.
Oh, we only need to finish top 4.
That's going to be a challenge. There we go. See, those are nice looking uniforms. The Hawks 48-49, 3-1 loss for us. And this isn't even a particularly good Hawks team. Leswick is injured, or not injured anymore, comes off, goes on the active roster. And is Hextall longer than, I can't remember, no, he's day to day. O'Connor will have to go on the injury list. But I think we're just about out of time here, so maybe we'll wind it up in the next game when we come back to this. I will make a few trades now that we got all the initial cleanup work with the setting up the lineup, signing free agents and whatnot. Start moving guys around, start collecting draft picks, and hopefully some young prospects too, and try to get this turned around by the 1950s. So, Adam, do you want to wind it up there?
Just before we do that, CS High in the chat had a question. What's your favorite retro jersey?
Canucks Star Wars. Easily. Not even close.
The only correct answer is the Hartford Whalers.
Which one, though? The New England Whalers and the WHA, the last year, they had really nice ones.
Well, yes, those ones are very nice, but they're teal greenish colored ones.
Was it the ones that had the blue in them?
No, before that.
Yeah, okay. They were better before that. The blue didn't look quite right.
Yeah, the blue. I didn't like the green and blue. All right, let's get started. Let's get started with the ending then. So thank you very much for tuning into another Franchise Hockey Manager stream. We typically stream every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/OOTP Developments. All of our streams are archived on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/OOTP Developments as well. You can also reach out to us on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Franchise Hockey Manager. On Twitter, we're at Franchise Hockey, where you can also find a link to our official Discord in our Twitter bio as well. Of course, you can come on down to our official website, which is ootpdevelopments.com. Click on the community button in the top right-hand corner, which will bring you to official forums. You can talk about Franchise Hockey Manager 7, Out of the Park Baseball, Perfect Team, or anything else you wish to discuss. And if you haven't picked up Franchise Hockey Manager 7 yet, it's on sale for 10% off, which is $35.99 American until January 5th as part of the winter sale. Yep, Jeff, did I miss anything?
Nope. That's the pre-release or the release price or release discount winds up extending right through the Steam sale. So normally it would be done. It would have been done tonight, wouldn't it?
Yes, this would have been 1 week.
Yeah, but it'll be going for a couple more weeks after that. So it's been selling well. I've had a lot of activity on the forums, so pretty happy with it so far, and we'll continue updating it. And wow, just looking at Buddy O'Connor's penalty minutes, 4-0-4, and he's playing full seasons. This guy never did anything. Okay, but yeah, back on topic. So we'll be. What is next Wednesday, the 30th? Are we going to be streaming that night?
Yeah, I'll probably be on. Okay. Maybe we'll go a little bit earlier. I'm not sure, but we'll see. We'll see how it works.
Posted. But yeah, we'll probably be back next. Maybe be back next Wednesday with Adam's game. Until then, have a good holiday, everybody. Merry Christmas, and we will see you next week.